If you want to get started, thank you so much for taking the
Yeah,
time out of your schedule to, come meet and talk to me. I know you're pretty busy right now. You got a lot of things going on.
of course, my friend. It's a pleasure to talk. Pleasure to be here with you. Able to talk, just have a conversation. So,
Yeah. All right. So for everybody watching, I'm here with Angel Rosario Jr. Uh, very, very cool guy. You've been in a few things. You've been in a few things that we're going to discuss, but also, I mean, you're still on the rise, man. You still got a lot of good things coming towards your way. I know it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Honor to talk to you. And yeah, I mean, slowly but surely, but we're gonna get there. You know what I mean? And we'll get into that more as the conversations go.
Yeah. All right. And just to start off, how long have you been an actor, and what kind of made you want to get into the entertainment industry?
So with me, I actually started in the entertainment industry. I initially wanted to be a professional wrestler. I was big fan of the WWE, big fan, and started to have those dreams. Like, you know what, I want to be a professional wrestler. So I started training in 2012. And about 6 months in, had my first match in the independent circuit. Nothing big, because in the professional wrestling world, there is the independent scene, which is, or what you call it as well. When it comes to TV and film, basically the same thing, where you're basically working for a small amount of money or maybe nothing at all. It all depends on a promoter or a project or whatever it is that you want to consider. So I started in 2012, had some matches all the way up to 2014. Then I started working at a costume shop in Chicago, and while I was working there, I'd get customers coming in. Hey, are you an actor? I'm like, no, I'm a professional wrestler. I started training in that, and they're like, you should consider it. You have this unique look, and I'm like, well, maybe we'll see. Maybe it's not really for me. Um, then the second person, third person, fourth person, it kept on being a thing. So it's like, you know what? Let me try this acting thing. Try. Let me see what happens. I'm a big movie guy. I love, I'm a big sci-fi guy and stuff like that. So, good movies are, especially the ones that tell great story. I'm a big fan of. So then I started doing extra stuff. I started here in Chicago with Empire, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and stuff like that. The bigger productions. Empire no longer shoots here, but the Greater Chicago, the one Chicago shows, Fire PD Med, that shoot here, and then some other stuff like Spike Lee's Chirac, which was filmed here, and some other projects as well. I was also in Fargo season 4 of Fargo, but those are all extra roles, and that's how I got my start into the industry. Even in Chicago, there's films that have been shot here, and they don't give Chicago the credit that it's due for being a city of production. The Dark Knight series was shot here.
Yeah.
The Transformers series was shot here. Blues Brothers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This can go on and on. And Chicago is known for having that sort of gritty setting for a lot of films. So started with that, and when I was about my second or third extra gig in, especially for Empire, I said, you know what, I got to do this. This is amazing. I want to do what they're doing. I want to be that guy, like Terrence Howard on sets, Roger P. Henson, and all that. So then I got my professional headshots, and I sent them out. I had nothing to my name. I had nothing, no resume. I had nothing. Doing some independent projects here and there, and sent it out to an agent, Stewart Talent here in Chicago. And I was getting auditions based on just how I looked. They all liked how I look, because it's unique. I have what's called alopecia, so I can't grow hair. I don't have any hair here, no eyebrows, eyelashes, basically hairless on the entire body. Should have taken up swimming. But nevertheless, started with that, and the process is always a process. From 2015 on, it was just no, 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 no. It was always a no. I was always getting passed up, and I was getting frustrated. So one day, in my one audition for Chicago Med, I told myself, if I don't get this role, if I don't get this one, I'm never gonna act again. I'm sick and tired of people telling me no. I've had a crazy childhood where I'm basically the only one that looked like me in the classroom. in the setting that I'm always in, and it's kind of rare to see that. Yeah, there are alopecias known around the world, but where, when I was growing up, again, I was the only one that looked like me in my school, and, all the other places that I would go to, and people would give me the looks and stuff like that. So I'm already a uniquely looking dude. But then I did that audition. I went full into character, and I was blessed to get that first role.
You keep barking at me.
And from then on, lots of highs and lows. From 2018 to 2021, which is 2021, I call my breakout year, because that's when everything started falling. And all these other projects that are coming up. Chicago Med was first, and a film called Run and Gun. After that, New Mexico, which was amazing, being in New Mexico and Albuquerque. And then I got a big one, even though it's a smaller role, but it's a ginormous project, which is Black Adam. I was able to book that, and then all the other ones started coming down. It's like, okay, well, hey, if it's gonna be like that, let's go. I'm ready. I've been ready. So that's basically my journey into the industry.
Yeah, and that's quite a journey, man. And like I said, you're still going.
And there's a lot more to come. I'll tell you that. I'm hungrier than ever.
Yeah, it's I know you mentioned you got Black Adam coming up, because I also have another friend who worked a little bit on that project, also a little kind of more on the stunt side of it.
Okay.
Yeah, her name is Shannon Bashir. She's done some stunt work for different DC projects, and that was Black Adam was another one that she was kind of involved in, not too much, but yeah, she was actually able to be on set and see everybody, and yeah, she said it was great.
It was awesome. It was awesome being on set for Black Adam. Just being around, professionals in the industry, the way things move, and in the middle of the pandemic, being in Atlanta, it's my first time in Atlanta, so I was just taking it in, just thankful to just even be considered for this role, and able to work with amazing talent with Jaume Colette Serra. He's the director for Black Adam, and I'm pretty sure I may be maybe the only one that spoke Spanish to him, because I'm of Puerto Rican descent. So I spoke Spanish to him. Everybody was saying, "Hey, how are you? How are you? How are you?" And he comes up, "Hey, my name is Jaume. Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Ángel. Mucho gusto en conocerle." And he's like, "Oh, mucho gusto." You know how Spaniards talk real proudly. Yeah. And then from there, it was just, like I had this little, like, it could be a little bit of a bond, if you want to talk about it, if you want to say that it was with the director. But it was amazing. Yeah, it was good being on set for Black Adam, learning a lot, working with Tanua'i Reed, who is The Rock's or Dwayne Johnson's stunt guy. He's the guy that is The Rock, doing all the stunts and stuff like that half the time. And he was awesome. Everybody was so professional. And then that quick glimpse of Dwayne just walking in, and I'm sitting down, and he's doing his close-ups. They cut him, and he's a busy guy. So, they got this close-up. He's got to go. But he walks down the hall with his handler, and he looks at me and goes, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "What's up?" Walks out, and I'm like, "Yeah, that was pretty cool." But my inner wrestling fan inside, I'm like, was going crazy.
Yeah. Did you see him when you walked out? Was he in the suit?
Yes, he was in the suit. Yes.
Man, that must be like he
was in the Black Adam suit.
Yeah, that must be like a kind of a crazy experience too, because I mean, seeing something like that, like we get to see it as a fan, we get to see it on the big screen and stuff, but very rarely do most of us get to see it in real life.
And it looks great. I'll tell you that the way that he made it looks amazing. Even the rest of production, the rest of the set. Like if you're a comic book guy, comic book nerd, or whoever, and the story of Black Adam, or if you read the story of Black Adam, a lot of DC fans, like, they don't really, they see it when it's already on screen, post and all of that. And me just taking it all in on set, the way that everything is so intricately built, and, everything that just goes into, like, a lot of people don't give the production designers, they don't give them a lot of credit, because it's them that put everything together, that build everything. They have a vision, and those are the people that start to build, and it looks amazing. Everything was great. And then when it comes to costuming, sky's the limit with that. And yeah, the suit was great. It looked good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I'm always a big fan of, not only am I a fan of like films in general, but I'm also a really big fan of the technical side of filmmaking, which is why um on this, on this like podcast and stuff, I get to talk to different people in different aspects of filmmaking, including, the stunt work, the production design, the cinematographers, because it's definitely, I always say it's a community of people coming together and lending all of their talents to make the films we love watching.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh yeah, there's a thing.
and they definitely deserve a lot more credit, like you're saying, just, because a lot of people are coming together to make this stuff happen.
Yeah, shout out to all the designers, all the producers, everybody that's in wardrobe, everybody that makes it all happen so that we shine. They're the real heroes. They're they're the real number ones of the film industry, because they're the ones that are working so hard behind the scenes. And if there's a change that's got to be done, they got to be quick to do it. Got to be, and they are masters at their craft. And I appreciate all of them.
Mm-hmm. And going back to your origins in wrestling, growing up, like, who are some of your favorite wrestlers that kind of influenced you to want to, become a wrestler?
Oh man. Well, for me, the greatest of all time would be The Undertaker. That's my guy. That's always going to be the guy. But it initially started with The Rock. My love for wrestling started watching him on TV with my cousin back in the year 2000, and he left to go do movies. So I felt like this. I'm like, oh man, he just left me. Like crap. Like, what am I going to do? And then I'm watching The Undertaker return to his old persona, and I really latched onto that because I'm a big character guy.
Mm-hmm.
And from then on, it was just like, oh man, I want to be, almost equal to that. If I'm gonna when I want to be a professional wrestler, that's the type of thing I want to do. Because everybody wants to have the flashy lights and they want to have the muscles and all that, which is good. It's great. I want to be the most popular thing ever. But when it comes to a character like The Undertaker, it's like very intricate, and you don't see that every day. You don't see that in your everyday performer. And being able to suspend disbelief in any way, shape, or form, that's the type of storytelling that I would love to do, even in the acting world. But in professional wrestling, that's what I wanted to be, like a similar character. Because obviously we're not here to rip off anybody, because that's a big no-no in the world of professional wrestling, as we call it, copyright infringement. I will always give it to The Undertaker, the greatest of all time. Just me. He just got inducted to the Hall of Fame about 2 weeks ago at WrestleMania weekend in Dallas, and that was like a big. It was amazing for me to see, but it was also sad because this is like, it's over, it's done. I'm not gonna be able to see my favorite wrestler, and it's obviously when age gets up there, you won't be able to do the things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. But that was my biggest inspiration for professional wrestling. Wanted to be that type of character. Wanted to be something similar so that I can suspend disbelief. Because I'll do it 100%. But if I'm able to like maybe be something else, that's always fun for me. So that was him, his persona, the entrance, all of that, the way he wrestled in the ring. That was my inspiration to become a professional wrestler when I was starting to train in 2012.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, but I remember when I was a kid, that was like a big part of my life, with my watching wrestling with my brother all the time. I think it was because of him that I kind of got into it. My older brother just really loved wrestling, and that's what I loved about what I love most about it is the characters. Everyone has a character, everyone has a persona, and everyone, back in the day, like, they were a lot more flashy than they are now. But that's kind of what I miss about wrestling, is that everyone used to be so like flashy and out there. And I love that. I loved all the costumes and everything.
Back then, I feel like with there, it was more like, it was just like you said, it's flashy, but for me, it was more intense. It was a lot more real. It was cool to be a wrestling fan. Now a lot of it has changed because of a different audience, and you can't really be pushing the envelope with a lot of the things that are frowned upon now in the world. Which that's fine. Everybody has their beliefs and whatnot. We all have our beliefs, and cool. That's fine. Everybody changes with their times. But it was like I feel like it was amazing being a fan of professional wrestling. like back in the 90s, the early 2000s, up to like 2010-ish, 20, up to that point. Then it started to change, which again, things change, but people change, audiences change, geared more towards like kids and family, and that's where the money is. The kid is going to want the shirt. If whatever they see on television, that's going to impact their life in one way, shape, or form. It's going to be that type of representation that they're seeking. And now there's a lot more representation now than there was back then. Very limited, but also very hard hitting. It's just a lot of storytelling, and I love it.
When you first started your persona, like what was your name and like your kind of persona?
Oh, we're gonna go down that rabbit. All right. So my character was basically, like I said, based off of The Undertaker. I took a lot of his mannerisms and his type of, what we call methodical type style. My name was the Archangel, dressed in all white, had white contacts on, and I had this holier than thou, persona. And I never spoke. I never said a word, because it's just like, if I felt like I didn't have to say anything. I just go out there, do what I had to do, take care of whoever, the show where I had to take care of, whatever it is, whatever. And very methodical, like I said, dressed in white. And that's very, very fun for me, even though it didn't last that long, because, when it comes to professional wrestling in the independent scene, just starting, you're not making any money. And I was going 110%, training Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, getting into the ring and practicing, working on your craft, just like we do with acting. And it did kind of die out because I started to lose the love and passion for what professional wrestling want for me, only because I was limiting myself, and I tend to get in my head a lot. Mm-hmm. And I would always like bash myself a lot, even with acting. Like it's changed a lot dramatically, but just getting out of my own head. But I would always I'd be my own worst critic, and I didn't think I was good enough, even though I had this persona. Everybody was like, "Oh, this and that," but I was like, "No, something didn't work," and I would have to change. But now what I do is I'm a ring announcer. So I might, like, for fun, I just go out there and for the Lucha Libre shows that are here in Chicago, I am the ring announcer for all of them. And, there are basically companies out here that already know me because of my wrestling time. And I may go back. I would like to go back into it just as a hobby, just, for fun, mm-hmm. Not trying to, get noticed by the WWE or AEW, whatever promotion that wants to. I mean, that'd be cool if they want to give me an opportunity. That's fine. But my sole priority is acting. My sole priority is to be an actor. Love what I do. I will not change it for the world, and that's going to be, what I do for the rest of my life. But that was the character, the Archangel, hailing from the kingdom of heaven. But I was very villainous. I wasn't anywhere good. It was always villainous to me. So that was fun. Those were some fun times. I got some matches on YouTube. I'm a former, there's some organizations that have champions, and I was the heavyweight champion, the subdivision of the promotion that I was at up in the north side of Illinois. Mm-hmm. That was cool. And who knows, I may make a comeback. I'm not sure.
Because you definitely do have that look, even as a wrestler too. Like when I've watched a little bit of your the little wrestling matches on YouTube, and you definitely have the look and persona down. It was great.
I try.
Because I definitely did. Like when I was watching it, I was like, this definitely could have, it looks like it could have come out like in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's kind of, that's what you're going for. Yeah. and it came through, and it was good. We had talked a little bit about your your childhood coming up with alopecia and stuff like that. How has that kind of molded you as a person and stuff like that? And how did you kind of overcome a lot of that adversity with with the bullying and stuff like that?
Oh man, with that became my identity. When I was a kid, I would always, even sometimes now, we would always have those moments of self-doubt, stuff like that. But as a kid, I would, go through it a lot. A lot of kids back in the 90s, I'm telling you, the kids in the 90s were ruthless. The kids coming up were ruthless. Any little thing, if you wore something that wasn't a Jordan or it wasn't like high end clothes, but then there's me, the kid that looks the kid that grew up in church and couldn't really do anything bad, and if he did, it was automatically, oh, I'm gonna tell your man you did this bad or whatever. And always having that held against my head or over my head, and with alopecia, that just cherry on top. It became my identity though. So I was subconscious up until high school because I knew it was like, oh, I'm gonna get bullied and people are gonna start making comments. And it's only until you figure out that, this is me. This is my identity. This is who I am. This is why I'm representing. When you learn to accept that, then no one, anything can say. And I've heard it. I've heard everything under the sun when it comes to insults, when it comes to, derogatory comments about I look like this, I look like that, you look like mini me. When I was a kid, I went to an amusement park and I was in the Cups ride, and there were the two like guys there with the old camera phone recording me, and they're like, hey, do this. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, so I just did it. Later down the line, I'm like, ha ha, how about no?
How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
So, little Dr. Evil for you. But it became my identity, and I quickly like, you know what, screw it, this is who I am. And this is what I want to, and I also want to bring awareness to people who look like me. There are several actors that have this it's not a disability, this condition. It is technically, you can call it a disability. My friend Joe Gatt, who's also in Black Adam with me, another actor, one of my mentors and a big hero of mine. If you guys don't know who he is, if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, in the beginning, there's the group called the Wargs in about season 2. And they're the North, the real North. You had the Thenns that look like me, that look like us. And he was one of those Thenns. He's a Warg. And he was blessed to have that role. And I looked at him, and I looked at that even then, like in 2017, when I was catching up on Game of Thrones, and I'm looking at them like, yo, I can do that. And I'm in the acting. I'm already in the acting industry. I wasn't getting opportunities like I wanted to, but I'm looking at that, and I'm like, I can do that. So I quickly adapted that, my look, alopecia, as my way of marketing myself. So that became the face of my company, my business. This is who I am. This is who I'm offering. And behind all of this is this performance, blah, 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 blah. And it was hard in the beginning. It was hard as a kid because obviously kids are kids. They're going to say stupid stuff, and that's fine. But it hardened me to the point where now it doesn't bother me. It does. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference what people say. I'm just happy to be able to represent now what I wish I had when I was a kid. I didn't really see many people, many actors that had what I had. And now that I'm seeing more and more, I'm becoming a little bit more prominent. I want to be that, shining light of hope for someone that looks like me, male, female, or, what have you. It doesn't able to share those experiences and let them know that this is your brand. This is my brand. I want to represent this in any way possible. A lot of people ask me questions like, "Hey, I don't want to offend, or I don't want to make this sound wrong, but can about your alopecia?" I'd rather you ask than make an assumption. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was basically my upbringing, man. It wasn't easy, but I've learned to take that and make it my brand, making my marketing standpoint too. Even when it comes to acting, this is what I want to represent. I look like this, but that doesn't mean that I can't do this and this and this and this. You know what I mean? It's always like, hey, again, like you said, just ask. I'm not gonna get mad like, oh, here we go, this one white guy's gonna ask me about this thing. And even like I work in the downtown of Chicago. I'm a bouncer by trade, so when I'm not acting, that's what I do for money. And a lot of white people come up and they automatically assume I'm either Polish or I'm Eastern European, which is fine. But once I start speaking Spanish, I'm like, wait, you're Latino? I'm like, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. Born and raised here. My parents were born on the island, and that's another thing. That's another conversation when it comes to representation. But it's rather just ask the question, guys. Ask the question. Just ask us. I would love to educate you on what this is, and I'm pretty sure, anybody who you ask, whether they be Native, whether they be African American, it doesn't matter. Just ask the question. If you want to be educated, I'm here to educate. But if you make assumptions, then we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
All right. Not you. I'm talking to the viewers.
And you seem like really proud of where you come from, and I really appreciate that. So, like, do you prefer working, like in your like kind of home state, or do you love the travel part of it?
Oh man, that's like how can I explain it? I love traveling. Like before I flew out to Albuquerque, I haven't been on a plane since 2005. Not been on a plane since because I went to Puerto Rico. That was the last time I've been to Puerto Rico, and it's like, man, this is awesome. I love now, and it's a hassle because when it comes to acting, there's this thing called local hire, and usually when they fly me out to projects, I would have to provide, pay for my flight, rental, hotel, all that stuff. Maybe there's some, and I'm not complaining about that because that comes with the territory. If you want to be an actor, you want to get yourself out there, you got to do things so that you can get noticed. But there are ways, sometimes they'll throw in a hotel or maybe they'll throw in the airfare, blah, blah, blah. And that's a huge help. And I appreciate all the productions helping me with that. Even just giving me a chance, period. I'll do the rest if I have to. I'm just, thankful for getting the opportunity to do what I do and do what I love. I wish there were more opportunities here in the city of Chicago, but they're very scarce and they're very rare. And I feel like my market will do a lot better outside of the city. I'm just here because this is my home. I'm born and raised here. But if I get, more work in, say, either Los Angeles comes up, New York, not really New York. I love New York, but I can't live there. I can visit. But Los Angeles and Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Atlanta, Georgia, those places are very cool, very good places to maybe think about maybe one day moving there and, having my career continue in one of those places.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Atlanta too. That place is booming right now with opportunity. Booming. Yeah. Yeah, because I recently talked to another actor friend of mine who's also based out of Atlanta, and they're just constantly having, they're constantly trying to get work. But that's also the kind of like the bad part about it is that everybody, kind of knows about it. So they're also, they're also just trying to get all that work out there too. So it's really competitive.
That's what I'm trying to. What I'm trying to do is be very selective. Not selective. I'm just trying to be a little bit careful when it comes to that because like you said, everybody now knows about this, now knows about that. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see. I'm going to be very careful when it comes to deciding whether I want to move out here now or if I want to wait or anything like that. Yeah, I'm booking and stuff like that, and I thank the Lord above and. I thank the productions and casting, directing and stuff like that. My agents that have gotten me and my managers got me the opportunity to just audition. But when it comes to like, hey, I'm going to get up and move, like that's something that I really got to put thought to because I've never lived anywhere else other than the city of Chicago. And it's also a good thing because if I go out there, I can learn to live out away from where, out of my comfort zone. And that's as actors and even just in general as just human beings, it's good to sometimes just get out of that comfort zone, learn new things, just partake in a lot of the culture that's outside of your norm. That's what we should all learn to do as human beings,
Yeah. I was recently in California for a couple of days last week. I remember you kind of talked about it. And it was actually really fun. I mean, I had a really good time. But like the whole time I was there, like when we got stuck in traffic and like just seeing how expensive gas was, I'm like, oh, it's a cool place to visit, but I don't think I'd want to live here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot, and especially now with everything that's happening in the world. That's something that we got to consider. Like it looks great. It feels great. But the gas and the rent and how am I, there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't really think about. Obviously, a lot of and people that are well off, a lot of actors that are well off, or obviously that are way more successful than I am, they won't have a problem, spending. They got the money.
Mhm.
I don't just yet. So there's just things that we got to consider before we make big moves. To live, not like when it comes to booking and flying myself and stuff like that. We'll figure that out. But like it's just things that we just have to consider.
Yeah. And you've also been in a couple of like music videos and stuff like that. How do those kind of like differ? How do those kind of like differ from?
I don't like the fact that you're digging into me this way, sir. Oh,
Well, that's
music
what kind of
videos. Okay.
that's what sets whole thing apart from other people is that I do a lot of research. I dig very deep.
Of course.
But
Of
anyway,
course, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that, man.
yeah, because everybody that I've had a chance to talk to on here is someone that either I really admire and I know a lot of their work, or it's people that I see and I'm just like they're gonna be great. They're gonna be doing big things, and I just kind of want to give a little bit more exposure and kind of let people in on this talent. How similar and how different are they from like say a regular like TV or movie shoot?
Well, I can tell you this: similar, but very, 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 very different. Very
Mhm.
different. When it comes to music videos, those that I did, to help the artist out because Luke Gone is one of them, Chase is another, and what else? There's a couple of them that I forgot the name. But those were fun. Like seeing the for me seeing the end result, like seeing the finished music
Mhm.
video and seeing what I did, either for Everybody Dies for Luke Gone or Scared by Chase, and then seeing heck, I mean, I wasn't doing anything, and then they called me up to be Chance the Rapper's devil in Hot Shower.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wait, what? You want me to do what? They need. So it first started. My agent at the time told me, hey, they need. Can you make it over to like a northern suburb of Chicago to be a double in a music video? Double. Sure, I'm not doing anything. Whatever. No, at that point, I'm like pretty much done or whatever. So I said, okay, cool. I'll head in, and they call me. Production calls me like, "Hey, so we want to know if you're gonna be so I heard you're gonna be the devil for Chance the Rapper's Hot Shower." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 who?" Chance the Rapper, Hot Shower. You're gonna be the devil. Oh, wow, Chance. Oh, devil, not double, devil. Oh, that sounds like fun. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Um, and being on set there, like when it comes to music videos, the independent music videos, they're very personal, very intimate. But with Chance the Rapper, all the bells and whistles. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to that, and he was awesome. He, representing like he's a Chicago boy like me, representing the city in a huge way. Very, very, very talented guy. Very cool person overall. Um, Him and his family welcomed me, and that was awesome. I was there for 15 minutes, and I just wanted to stay just to see what the rest of the music video was going to be about. But other than that, like when it comes to TV, film, and music videos, very, very different. It's a giant leap because
Mhm.
the production value for TV, the production value for films, the production value for music videos. They're still spending money. Don't get me wrong, especially when it comes to like artists like Chance the Rapper and stuff like that. They're still spending high amounts of money just to get it right, just for cameras, just for this, just for that, editing, all of that. And then they want to use, artists. They want to use girls. They want to do this. They want the dancers. Blah 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 blah. And then they got to pay for locations. That's the more higher end when it comes to like a Chance the Rapper, Hot Shower, stuff like that. But yeah, there's a huge jump, gigantic, enormous jump. It's just being on set, but it's still like when it comes to set, oh my god, when it comes to TV film, there's trailers upon trailers upon trailers upon trailers upon trailers, bathroom trailers, crafty trailers where you go get some snacks, and then there's the trailers where you go change, and then office trailers, and you go on to set, and there's more stuff in there. It's a lot of when it comes to production. but music videos are just a little minimized. There's a little bit of that, like a fraction of it.
I'm still kind of like in the whole thought of like you thinking they needed a double for the
A double.
for the music video. I could like
I didn't hear her correctly. I'm like, she said double. Why a double? Like, what am I gonna do as a double? No, devil. Oh, devil. Sorry, I was like not thinking. Whatever. Hey, there.
Did you ever think like a double for? Like, I don't know. Just like thinking like in my head, I'd probably think like am I doubling Chance the Rapper? I was like, I don't think that's gonna work, but you know.
I thought like there was gonna be someone there that they hired, big star, and then I was gonna be like the guy that maybe was just gonna lay there and the other guy act something. I don't know. I've been a stand-in before, so that's basically what I thought what I was gonna do. And then when they reiterated Devil, I'm like, oh, I'm actually a character in this for like 3.4 seconds, but still, see me.
Yeah,
that was fun. It was very fun.
And so far, with everything that you've been working on, do you happen to have a favorite project that you've been a part of?
Woo! Jeez, yes. Not to knock any other projects that I've been in. I'm thankful and humbled and appreciative of all the other ones. However, this most recent episode of Law and Order SVU tops my performance. In fact, when it comes to like projects, that's my favorite one so far because of the production value, because of how it looked. That was just amazing. For right now, and then we'll see what happens if we get any other bigger opportunities. And I know it'll happen down the line, so we'll see what happens. But right now, Law and Order SVU season 23, episode 17. Once Upon a Time in El Barrio. You can check it out on either Peacock or Hulu. That's up now for all the viewers that are big SVU fans. Don't get mad at me, please. You'll see why if you watch the episode. But that one just, man, it was amazing to see on television and see the end result. That was great.
Yeah, I was able to. I remember you were promoting that on Instagram and stuff like that, so I was able to catch it. My wife's a really big fan of Law and Order, so like, I'm pretty sure for you being a part of that is amazing because of how like big of an impact that show's had on on pop culture in general. It's been around for so long.
Over 20 years, and that show's still going strong. And that was actually one of my bucket list items. I'm like, man, I would love to do an SVU episode. And what I realized is like Pedro Pascal, and a lot of big name actors, like big, huge Hollywood actors, had a stint in SVU. So if I can make it in SVU, hey, sky's the limit after this, man.
Yeah. Like we watch a lot of those like those older episodes that are in like reruns and stuff like that late night, and every time I'm watching I'm like, hey, there's that guy, or hey, there's that girl, you know what I mean? Like, and this is way before they blew up, so that's always fun to watch. I think I have to say that like from my personal stuff that I've seen of yours, I think the best thing that I've seen, I mean, you also, I don't think you had any lines in that, but MacGruber, the series, I love that series.
I had a couple lines in that, actually. Just like quick stuff there. Okay, so SVU, when it comes to performance, is my favorite. But when it comes to being on set, production, and all of that, that was fun. Oh, I didn't want to come home. I'm like, man, can I just stay on the set? Working with Will Forte, Kristen Wiig, Billy Zane, that was awesome. Working with Lawrence Fishburne, man, I'm like, oh my god, this is Lawrence Fishburne's a legend. All of those, such an amazing time being on set. It was it was a comedy. We were laughing half the time. The food was great. Albuquerque treated me so well. I love Albuquerque, New Mexico. MacGruber was the most fun that I've had on any production, and that was great. You actually interviewed one of my co-stars, Stephanie, who also plays Hammerhead on Doom Patrol. Hey, it's Stephanie. How are you? How you doing? I miss you, and I love you. You're amazing. She's awesome, and she has an amazing story. That, man, very, very, like, at first it's like heartbreaking, and then I'm like, oh man. Like, we sat down at an Italian spot with it was just during the shoot. We were there almost the month of August. The entire month of August we were out there shooting MacGruber, and we sat down in Italian spot. She was just telling me her story. I'm like, oh my god. And I thought I had it crazy because of how I look, but she has gone through so much, She's an amazing, talented. I call her a superstar because she's awesome. Very loving, very humble, and that we need a lot more people like her. And she's like, she's blowing up with Doom Patrol. MacGruber came out. She was awesome, and but MacGruber was great, man. Oh, I love it. Those were some fun times. Those were some great times.
Yeah, and it's going back to Stephanie, she really is like a really great person, super strong woman, and I just admire her very much. Just like, yeah, she's one of my favorites. She's like, being able to get to talk to her about like Doom Patrol, because like I love Doom Patrol like so much, and her character is like one of my favorite characters on the whole show.
Everybody that I was on set with MacGruber, Brad and Ryan, even like I said, Will Forte, Billy Zane surprised them. Man, okay, Billy Zane on the show. Woo.
Mhm.
And even though I had like one or two lines here, right before I shot the what was it, RPG, before I got the infamous quote unquote hashtag dick shot, which was great to work with. It was freaking hilarious. They actually took the scene out. I had another line in there, so they took that scene out, and it's okay. It happens, production. But overall, man, working with Stephanie, working with Brad, working with everybody that was on. Oh my God, so fun. And I wish I can, I wish that type of energy was on every set, but sometimes you got to be a little bit more serious, like SVU. SVU was fun. SVU was great.
Mhm.
Having all of us there having a great time. But when it came to showtime, I'm like, it's time to put boots to asses. It's time for us to get to work. And that was great. Black Adam was great. I was just recently in Savannah, Georgia last week when we had first was about to do this, but there's a lot of things going around.
Yeah.
Doing a show that's called Panhandle. That's a new pilot, new series that's coming out. Not sure where they're gonna air it, but that's a new like comedy drama,
Mhm.
dramedy or whatever you want to call it. That's coming out. And just a fun time I had on set everywhere, man. It's been great. MacGruber, the most fun I had on any set. I can guarantee you that. And if you were there, we were just all laughing. Will was making us just crack up because when it comes to like doing the production, I had to bite my tongue on many occasions. And I had to be all serious with my like AK-47. I had to bite my tongue because the lines and the dialogue that these guys were just going through, like especially MacGruber's character, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna start dying laughing. As soon as they yell cut, I'm just like, I'm just like dying laughing. But yeah, man, yeah, that was awesome. Funny enough, the first time I saw MacGruber, the first time I saw Will Forte was on an episode of Monday Night Raw because they were promoting the movie and some of the performers, some of the wrestlers were in the movie, and they used some of them, and that's the first time that I saw him. And then I asked him about it. He was like, "Man, those guys are huge." I'm like, yeah, you'd think.
I never got to ask Stephanie about it, but now that I got you and you were part of that cast as well, I can ask you about it. But what kind of like or how much and what kind of like training did you guys have for like as far as like weapons training? Because you get to fire an RPG and stuff like that.
Weapons training. You hear this, guys? So just a little behind the scenes deal. The RPG it's just a prop. That was all post production. That was like they put that in post, and the rocket coming out. That's like all CGI and stuff like that. So when it comes to wielding a weapon and stuff like that, the only training that we have is just holding it. Making sure that the armor that's on set, the person that's in charge of giving out the fake weapons, whether it's hot or cold weapon or it's fake or a real weapon that shoots blanks, that it's not armed, that it doesn't have any real bullets in it. We just check that. And anybody that's going into doing these types of roles should have some sort of knowledge on how to handle a weapon, some sort of knowledge. Not saying that you have to know how to like actually aim and shoot, be part of the whatever, but it's just common knowledge. It's not, we didn't get any training. It wasn't like formal or anything like that, but just the basics. They would let us know, when you're holding the weapon, you do this, and you don't want to keep your finger on the trigger because, blah, blah, blah. And it's just real quick, and then we just practice it on set. And, we're there to act. So that's what we do.
That's why it's pretty much just like, here's a gun, look cool.
Basically. That's basically it, especially when it's a rubber gun. When it's a rubber gun, just like look scary.
Yeah.
But like I said, they would take out the cartridge, show us that it's an airsoft or they have blank bullets, and then we do a practice fire, and then we just fire when it's time to go.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is like we're kind of talking about characters as far as like how you play characters and not just like characters that you play in film or whatever, but I mean like character actors. Like, do you find yourself kind of wanting to be that type of actor, or just kind of always wanted to? Because I personally really love character actors. I love to be able to see, somebody who's been in like 100 movies and like maybe just play like a side character and be like, oh, I know that guy. Like, that guy's from this, or oh, I know that guy. Like, I've always thought that like character actors were like some of the best people out there, and they're always very, very good.
Yeah, that's actually my forte when it comes to acting. That's what I want to do is character acting. My favorite character. Oh yeah, Darth Vader. But my favorite actor who is known for all the characters he's played, Johnny Depp. I want to be able to be molded the way that guy just takes the character, makes it his own, and adds a one of a kind performance for that. Like my favorite character of his is Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean. I love the way it's like, man, that's Captain Jack Sparrow. You don't see him. Oh, that's Johnny Depp. Like no offense to him, but whenever you see The Rock on in a movie, you already know, oh, that's The Rock. And he can change here and there, but it's not going to be that much because you're always going to know him as The Rock. I want to be that type of character that is molded into this thing, and we're doing it because there's sometimes when it's about looks, but I'm telling you, when it comes to costuming and makeup and stuff like that, they can change you into whatever, and that's what I would love to do. That's my approach, not my approach. That's my forte. Like I said, that's what I want to do. That's what I strive to be. I want to be that character actor where you see in every film, and it's a big enough role, but it's a character that's like, just different. And it's the character. Like you don't see me as me, you see me as that character. Because I would love. That's what I like to suspend disbelief, even in acting, telling a story. So character acting is, my main prerogative when it comes to acting. That's what I want.
And those are always definitely the most memorable, because those are the performances that you see, and you're like, you'll always remember that because they stand out.
Of course, yeah.
And as someone who's still whose career is still like on the upward trajectory, what kind of advice would you have for somebody starting out, and like how to, more specifically, someone who doesn't want to be typecast, and like how do you yourself kind of combat that?
Oh man, and that's a tough one because I'm always typecast.
Mm-hmm.
But starting out, take it for what it is. They want to see you. They want to see that character in you. Just provide the best you, and always listen. That's what when it comes to acting, I tend to do better when I listen, so whenever I'm auditioning or whenever I put up a self-tape, but whatever I'm like, when somebody asks my help and they're like, hey, would you be able to self-tape read for me? And 9 times out of 10, I'll do this. And they're speaking, they're going through roles or they're talking, whatever. And I'm listening because I phonetically sound. So the way that it comes out should be the way that it's performed when it comes to, performance. But for me, like I said, ultimately it's just to, make that your brand. If they're going to continue to do that, to start off, make that your brand. That's what I've done when it comes, because I know I'm going to get the bad guy, the villain, which I love. That's my favorite thing to do. I always want to be the villain. It's always more fun to be the villain. But there are going to be some other like roles and stuff like that, like a good guy or whatever. This doesn't, And if they're typecast you as like, for me, it's a cop or the gangbanger or the correction officer or this demonic thing, make that the brand. Make your intentions known, but in the beginning, make sure that that's the thing that's going to make you money, and that's going to be your profession. That's going to be your, your focus, and that is to make that your brand and market that brand as such. That way, CDs, casting directors, and your agents start pushing you towards them to start it off, and then once your career starts to rise, then you have those conversations. Yeah, I would like to do this. I would like to do that. I want to get away from this and start doing this a little bit more. it's always about communication at the end of the day as well. But making it your own and making it a brand, making it your brand, making like if I'm gonna be typecast, I screw it. I call myself a chameleon actor. It's whatever they want, whatever I can morph myself into, that's my brand. And yeah, you're gonna be typecast. Oh, I learned that the hard way because I was like, I'm gonna be this again, and this again, and this again, and this one. But for now, when excuse me, when it starts to when your career starts to take off and you want to make those decisions that are going to change your career that you want to start doing, you can do that later. But when it comes to starting off, just make that your brand. Make sure that that's your focus, and watch how it starts to change. And once you're like, okay, maybe I can do this a little bit different.
Sorry. All right. Yeah. The last thing I was going to ask is like if you had any or what upcoming projects you have that we can look forward to.
So Black Adam comes out in October. And I don't know if I should say this one. It's coming out in May.
Or at least the ones you can talk about that won't get you in trouble.
So Panhandle comes out. I don't know when. That's a TV series that'll be out soon. And this new one, after I'm done here, I'm gonna start packing my stuff because I'm heading out to the airport. My flight leaves in like 3 hours. I'm going to New Orleans to film a pilot series called The Winchesters. I'm not sure what that's going to entail. It seems like a show that's based around the supernatural, and I love that stuff. I'm playing like this not demonic. Well, yeah, but possessed person, and there's going to be lots of stuff like that. So it's not a big, huge role, but there's some like stunt stuff in there, and it's a large enough role where it's going to be like. The stuff that I'm going to do is going to mean something. And that's what's coming up right now. And then just waiting for auditions to come around, my man, just waiting for more opportunities to present themselves. Like I said, Black Adam in October. I believe, I don't know when it's going to air, but I also booked Cobra Kai. I will be in the next season of Cobra Kai.
Nice.
I don't know when that's coming out, but I was in Atlanta before? I don't remember. I think that was after MacGruber in October. And there's another show called Sprung that's about like the life around the pandemic that I shot in Pittsburgh. A real small deal, but thankful for it nonetheless. So those are just some of the stuff that's coming.
Yeah. Thank you, Angel, once again for coming on here and taking time out of your schedule. You're a busy guy, and like I said, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot more of you.
Oh, my friend, it's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for reaching out. And anytime you want to do this again, you let me know, man. We could just sit down and shoot some questions, and we'll just have a cool conversation, guys. Guys, don't forget to check out Foxtail Cinematics. This guy is awesome. I'm pretty sure there's going to be he's probably going to be one of the biggest, deals to come when it comes to interviewing actors and stuff like that. So make sure you check him out. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Do it. I'm going to burn you alive. I'm not serious. You know what I'm talking about. SVU.
Watch it. Watch SVU. All right, Angel. Thanks, man. Have a good rest of your day.
You enjoy it, my friend. Thank you so much. Great. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep in touch, man.
All right, man. You take care.